Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening. Tasmania's most popular walking track is tonight under threat from an out-of-control bushfire. The Overland track has been closed and hikers advised to evacuate as firefighters continue to battle blazes sparked by lightning across the west coast.
This blaze currently travelling towards the Overland track and could reach it in the next 48 hours.
Since 9 a.m. this morning, it's moved approximately 800 metres, but we'll review it constantly as the topography, the vegetation and the weather changes, so can the rate of spread.
The fire currently 5 kilometres southwest of Pelion West at Canning Peak. Around 150 people understood to be on the track. 30 hikers today told to stay away.
Some of those have turned around from Windermere Hut and returned back to Cradle Mountain. Others have walked through. Everybody is out of harm's way.
Currently there is a watch and act for the Overland track that just came out recently. In addition to that, we have 8 advice messages out for other fires in the area.
That just one of 24 uncontained blazes threatening the west coast, a result of 4,000 dry lightning strikes 2 nights ago. Zian, while not under control, is not expected to grow, but conditions are less than ideal.
Doesn't look like we're going to see much rainfall between now or even the next week ahead, particularly in that northwestern part of the state. Be lucky to get more than 1 to 5 millimetres. It's looking quite dry.
But the Bureau is predicting a reprieve for the west coast at the end of next week. 20 to 30 millimetres of rain expected to fall. But until then, updates are on the Tas Alerts app. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Labor has written to the Auditor-General requesting an investigation into how $300 million in government budget cuts will affect Tasmania's public sector. The opposition claims it's made multiple attempts to get more information, warning any job losses will have devastating impacts.
The government has announced they are cutting $50 million from this year's budget, from areas like health, like police, like fire and emergency services. So the least they can do is explain what they are and how they're going to impact service delivery.
We've been really upfront. We've spoken about the significant opportunities for us to increase efficiency and productivity among the public sector.
The Community and Public Sector Union says a lack of information is already impacting the delivery of services and the mental health of workers. In a world first, a free online course is being tailored to help support those impacted by Parkinson's. Developed right here in Tasmania, the virtual resource has bold plans to change the stigma around the disease.
3 years ago, a Parkinson's diagnosis was the last thing on this professor's mind.
It was a shock. I didn't realise that somebody my age could get Parkinson's. You often think of an older man with Parkinson's.
Now she's one of the leading brains behind a new online course created to help others just like her.
Designed for health professionals, people living with Parkinson's, families, carers and the whole community.
Launched in Tasmania, the first of its kind virtual tools, bringing a range of resources into the one place, helping bridge a knowledge gap.
We want to see a world where this MOOC becomes the second thing that every doctor prescribes for every Parkinson's patient.
With Parkinson's cases doubling in the past decade, the project's also on a mission to smash the stigma around the disease.
Embrace their Parkinson's, not because it's good, but embrace it because they can make change through the Parkinson's community.
Fast forwarding the long-running race towards a cure.
We can have people participating in research from all around the world. We need big numbers to make a difference, a difference to care, but also to find a cure.
Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
Another popular arts festival is making its return. 10 Days on the Island has released its 2025 program, describing this year's lineup as a love letter to Tasmania and its stories. Starting from March 21, the tour will visit all corners of the state, bringing with it some big names and creative masterpieces. New legislation yet to pass Parliament will seek to make it easier for renewable projects to get the green light. The government today declaring the $1.5 billion Sellers Hill wind farm in the Central Highlands a major project. It wants to see similar renewable projects automatically eligible for major project assessment.
Now, we've always said that every project shouldn't automatically be built, but the proponent should know faster what they need to do to get it approved. And if that's a no, they need to know that no quickly.
Getting these projects, these large, complex projects through the approvals process is a task, and as a government we are committed to seeing these things progress.
Labor says it will consider supporting the legislation in due course. Another year in the classroom means new shoes, bigger uniforms and more stationery, all extra costs for struggling Tasmanian families. As the summer holiday comes to a close, St Vincent de Paul's annual appeal is aiming to help ease the financial stress of going back to school.
The start of a new school year can often mean a long shopping list.
A lunchbox full of food, a water bottle and a pencil case.
But buying all the essentials can add pressure on some families, especially those struggling with the rising cost of living.
The last few years, there's a lot of need from all our communities, a lot of families who are really struggling to meet those ongoing costs.
The St Vincent de Paul Society is hoping to ease some of the strain through its School Essentials appeal, aiming to help families with household costs so money can be spent on educational items.
Support them with food or with their utility bills. That frees them up with the opportunity to go and buy that special thing that might be required as part of a school program.
The charity's already assisted over 140 children and their families so far and is expecting to help more over the coming weeks.
We'll be well over 500.
Students across the state are also doing their bit to make a difference, fundraising and packing school bags with supplies.
We've been trying our hardest to give back to the people who aren't as lucky as us.
It's really important so you can get everything that everyone else has, so it's not unfair.
Rebecca Gadineris, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's original home of film is on the market. North Hobart's iconic State Cinema is one of the world's oldest operational movie theatres. Built in 1913, the complex began with just one screen but has expanded to include a dozen. It also features a bookshop, wine bar and cafe. The property is being sold through Expressions of Interest, which close on March 13. It's the year of the snake and you can welcome it in style with free entertainment and activities to celebrate the Lunar New Year at Launceston's QV Mag Art Gallery this Saturday.
Free events will be going on. We've got dancing, we've got flautists, we've got creative arts for the kids to actually get involved and get their hands in, and we love the activity centre here.
Always say, 恭喜发财, Happy New Year.
The Year of the Snake is believed to bring wisdom, wealth and happiness. Well, thousands of people will sample some of the state's best drops and produce when the Tasmanian Wine Festival kicks off this weekend. Crews are already setting up at Hobart's Royal Botanical Gardens. More than 35 wineries will showcase their wares, as well as food and live music.
Some of the new vineyards, we've got Kilvara coming on board, we've got Sen Vineyard from up in the Tamar, and Bird in Hand is making their debut here as well.
It's a sparkling wine, lots of dry white wine and rosé. Yeah, and maybe like chilled Pinot Noir.
The festival will be held in 3 sessions across the weekend. Domestic Cricketer of the Year Beau Webster wasn't the only Tasmanian honoured at this week's Australian Cricket Awards. A local 8-year-old, the youngest to receive the gong, named Blaster of the Year, and now she has the Australian captaincy in her sights.
Rolling into training this afternoon with an extra spring in her step, 8-year-old Frankie has just returned to Tasmania after soaking up the glitz and glamour of Australian cricket's Night of Nights, named the Woolworths Cricket Blaster of the Year.
It was the best night of my life. It was such an honour.
Hard to miss on the blue carpet in her bedazzled pink frock, Frankie relished meeting some of her heroes.
I met Ash Gardner, Alyssa Healy, Mitch Marsh, even Alan Border himself.
Born deaf, Frankie's cochlear implants are no impediment to excelling at cricket. Playing for South Launceston in the under-12s, she's known for cartwheeling between positions on the field, a trick she pulled at the Canes Big Bash final.
It is a great sport. I love playing with my family and friends, especially my best friend Elodie.
Frankie has responsibilities as the award recipient. She'll spend the next 12 months encouraging other kids to give cricket a go, although she has far higher ambitions than that.
I would love to be a captain Australian team.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News. Plenty of young talent on show from Tasmania in the One Day Cup. 18-year-old Riverside cricketer Aidan O'Connor knocking 27 off 37 on debut for the Tigers, alongside former Queenslander 23-year-old Will Prestwich. Tasmania setting a target of 205 for New South Wales, but O'Connor would be on the wrong side of this doozy. Smacked onto the roof of UTAS, the ball hasn't been seen since, despite the best efforts of ground staff. New South Wales cruising to a 7-wicket victory after just 38 overs, thanks to an unbeaten 71 from Moses Enriquez. Women's footy trailblazer Jess Wushner will be inducted into AFL Tasmania's Hall of Fame later this month. The former Clarence player was drafted by Brisbane for the inaugural AFLW season, where she stayed for 6 years and won a premiership. She's the only women's player to kick 2 or more goals in multiple grand finals. Jess is currently coach of the Tassie Devils under-18 and under-16 girls teams. With just 8 acceptances for Sunday's Hobart Cup, this morning's barrier draw wasn't quite as crucial to secure a good alley. Still, the 3 local runners have all landed within the inside 4 barriers. Devonport Cup winner Ashy Boy locking in number 1. The locals will be split up by Michelle Payne-trained Alumbra Lad in barrier 3.
Some of the Melbourne runners do bring very good form, particularly around Flemington. But with that said, the 3 Tassie runners have also delivered good local form.
The winner of the Group 3 race takes $150,000 prize money.
Good evening. 11 to 19, the temperature range today for Hobart as the cooler breezes took hold. Launceston reached 26, Devonport and Burnie 22 today. Bushy Park 24 degrees, Flinders Island and Friendly Beaches 23, King Island and Low Head 22, Grove and Strawn 21 degrees, St Helens 20 and Lyawini a top of 18. Mostly clear today with some cloud over the northeast and northwest of Tasmania. A little bit more over Bass Strait too and eastern Victoria. More with the front moving along the New South Wales coast and the active area over the tropics. We have a front to our southwest as the high moves further east tomorrow as well. Easterly winds will tend northeasterly over the east and southeast of the state. Variable winds over the west with a 3-metre swell. Hobart tomorrow, 25 and sunny. Mostly sunny for Cygnet, 25 as well. 28 for New Norfolk, a fine afternoon. 28 for Launceston, fine. Sunny for Devonport, 23 the top. Campbelltown warming up to 27 degrees. 21 the high for Burnie, bit of cloud about. Sunny for Strawn, 23 the top. And same sort of conditions for Smithton. St Helens, 22 and partly cloudy. Sunny for Swansea, 23. Fine for Fingal and 23. But on Friday, a few showers will be back. Mostly isolated, but more frequent over the central north and northeast. Possible thunderstorm too. Mainly fine on Saturday, a possible shower over the northwest and east. And on Sunday, fine and partly cloudy, sunny over the west, but Swansea may pick up a shower in the east. 36 in Perth and hot in Adelaide as well. 31 the top in Melbourne tomorrow with early cloud clearing. Partly cloudy but fine in Canberra, Sydney and Brisbane. Stormy over Cairns and Darwin. Clear in Hobart at the moment at 17, 21 in Launceston and in Devonport it's clear and 19 degrees. Let's hope they can get on top of those fires over the Overland track. Kim, maybe a couple of showers on Friday will help.
Okay, thanks very much, Murph. That is all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.